order because it's time. Okay, and Chris, I think Vic's gonna come over, maybe, so if she shows up, blow over the meeting a little, okay? All right, to introduce herself to the committee. We have a quorum, okay? Have you guys had a chance to review the minutes from last meeting?
Yeah.
Any problems with the minutes?
No.
Does somebody want to move to accept the minutes of the last meeting? I so move. Do I have a second? We're doing the minutes, same minutes. Come on in, Rick.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm just
you can have a seat, a hot seat.
That sounds intimidating.
That's a good start.
Okay, I'm sorry, here's our introduction. Owen's gonna introduce our new nurse.
Hello.
This is Vix, our
Hi,
new nurse.
What's the name?
Vix, VIX. Nice to meet you. Short for Victoria. Either works, but I prefer Vix.
Okay.
Nice to meet everyone. Wasn't sure what this was, so I was
Yeah,
curious.
well, this is it. This is the Health Center Advisory Board, and we just started our meeting, and Chris is on the zooming in from behind.
Oh, hey, there he is.
Thanks, hi, Owen.
Yeah.
There you go, looks good. All right, well,
Let's see.
You want to tell us a little bit about yourself or introduce yourself a little bit? Have a seat.
I'll sit here with you.
How's Mary?
And hold your hand.
it's that's not intimidating.
How's this?
Let's see, I live in Lincolnville. I've been only in Lincolnville for about 1.5 years. I've been with Maine Health in various positions from med surge to labor and delivery to the OR, for a few years now, about 6 years now. Before that, I was in outdoor education. So I worked with a lot of like teens and youth, but always a nerd for the emergency services training that would come with those programming. And I love teaching those things too. So education plus the nursing is why I'm here. So,
Good.
yep,
And you're still commuting from Lincolnville?
indeed. I love the ferry. I used to work on boats as well. That was part of it. So, yeah.
Well, you're very welcome. I think you'll find it a lot of challenge here
Ah,
because it's so small and so many different things.
intimate community.
Come to us, Owen.
Yeah. Yeah. I like island communities. I used to work out on the Isles of Shoals, part of that. So I am part of the working on boats was visiting island communities, and I just each island community is its own little bubble of culture, and I think they're very interesting and beautiful. And I also think everybody waves. That's like it's across the board between like here and the South Pacific. When you're driving around, everybody waves. So I thought that was yeah. Okay, well,
All right.
nice to meet you. Do you mind if I get a round of introductions?
No.
Thank you.
We've already met.
Yes.
Okay, so go.
Myra Roberson.
Sharon Ashley. You know me, Peggy.
I'm Carrie Reed. I am the secretary in meetings like this, and also I work at the public safety office.
Okay.
I'm
Gareth Roberts.
Derek, nice to meet you.
I'm Jane Ware. Harriet Barron.
Doesn't tell you much, does it?
No, I don't, but at least I know it now.
Harriet and I are both physicians.
Oh, okay, great.
So that's one of the reasons we drifted onto this board.
Ah, yes.
I drifted on and then I snagged Harriet.
Nice work.
And we have other health care professionals who have done various things also. So we're not completely ignorant.
I have learned as such. Thank you.
I warned her. I said, family is on the board.
I don't. No, my father lives up in Southwest Harbor, with my stepmother. But that's about it. My grandparents lived in Portland my whole life until they passed.
Okay,
Okay,
we'll relieve you of the hot seat. because
Thank
I know
you.
have work to do.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
it's the summer.
Thanks for
All right.
coming over.
Bye, Chris. Thank you all.
Thanks for coming over
Thanks,
here.
Vic.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Owen.
Yeah.
Now that's set up, I'm gonna go for a little while too. I'll check back later.
All right, very good.
Thanks.
Okay, All right, so we got that little bit done. We got some policy manual updates that are on in your packet in front of you.
Primarily changing position assistants to associates.
Yeah, it's just one of those things you gotta
Yeah.
do, if there's a name change or
There'll still be
something.
some more coming along, but we thought we'd plug away to do it a time.
Right, at least they kept PA. instead of
Yes, I
changing it
thought-
to something
yeah,
else.
I thought that was- that was
Just
one
say you
good
have to
thing.
change the initials on it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I was actually involved in some of the policy making with that and strongly supported keeping PA.
Right, yeah, that's good.
Yes, great. I had one question about the administrator position. I know this dates back a while, but, the thing that's changed is that now the health center has its own building, and I know Mert is now in charge of the town buildings, but it would seem to me that it would be appropriate for the administrator to have some responsibility for the building itself, making sure the heat, and Chris and I have talked about the heat settings and the, monitoring whether service is getting done and that sort of thing.
well, I
So
think that,
there is another update to that position description that is in the works. In the way of a little bit of background, with this being our very clinically active portion of the year, I've done a little bit less with policy work over the last 3 months. And I'm anticipating that's going to pick up a little bit again in the fall. And that position description for the health center administrator or health center director is in fact one of the things that's in the works, and that additional role of some responsibility for the new building is something that I've addressed in my new version that'll be likely coming to you next meeting.
okay, great. Thanks, Chris.
Can I ask how many employees we have at the health center right now?
How many employees do we have at the health center right now, Chris?
Let's see, just doing a quick count here.
We have,
I had counted 9 and I had put that in.
Yep, yeah, we've got 9 because we have 4 full-time providers. We have Lisa, Brandy, we have our 2 MAs, and we have Vix.
And Lisa and Brandy are both full-time.
yeah,
Lisa and Brandy are both full-time.
And then how does that compare to what we had before we went to the new building? Do you know?
well, we
See,
did have,
so
Lisa and Andy, but that's
we had Lisa, Brandy, Odessa, I think, and the providers, three providers.
And then
I mean, it was
2 clerical.
2 half-time providers and 2 more, and 2 full-times.
Mhm.
So it was, 1 fewer provider and fewer other bodies as well.
So I think it was 5. That's
Yeah.
what was changed in the thing, and that was updated in 24 before 26, so.
Yeah.
The reason I'm asking this is I got a call from a patient that was not happy with being told that she couldn't be seen until, she couldn't be seen until 11:45. She thought she had Lyme's and then was called back and told, no, you can come in at 9:45. They had an opening, and when she got there, there was nobody in the waiting room, lots of staff, and she felt that we were overstaffed. But for telling people that you couldn't come in for,
One of the problems with a big building is people walk in the door into the waiting room and they don't know who's in the back.
I asked that. She said there was no one in the back.
How
No
did she know
patients in the
that?
back, she said.
How did she know
I
that?
don't know that.
Did she
yeah,
walk in?
she should not have been
Oh, yeah.
allowed into the back.
Okay.
Right, we wouldn't know that, and, I mean, there's just so many variables, how many providers are actually there, it's hard to make a judgment like that based on one experience.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um,
And the other thing, as I say, we've got 4 exam rooms back there. It used to be perfectly obvious, okay, in that little tiny space. If
Also,
a
you
room
could
was
hear
occupied, you could hear everything, but there was no privacy.
There was that.
I mean, there could be a patient in every one of those exam rooms and, including the trauma room. And person in the waiting room would have no idea.
Right.
And that's the whole idea.
That's the point.
That's the point. Exactly. So I would, if this is somebody you can get back to,
Oh, I told her I would get back to it.
yeah, please let her know that. Ask her if she would like to have a tour of the health center building on a day when we aren't seeing patients. And we'll take her around to show her that the waiting room does not give her access to who's in the building. It's,
That's actually a good suggestion.
yeah.
See more about what they're doing.
People have the right to ask questions.
Yeah,
And
and
that's why she called me, because she knew I was on the advisory committee. And what her question was patients, how she said, I was writing notes on this little piece of it. Patients per day cost versus staffing. That was what she said.
So how many patients are you running through today, Chris? Per day?
Right now in the summer months, I would say we're seeing somewhere in the range of 16 to 20.
Wow.
Our provider schedules have been full every day. There are a couple of other things that I would point out about this as well in terms of the number of staff that are in the building, is that not all of our staff are clinically licensed to be able to perform a clinic visit. So for someone to be able to come in, be evaluated, receive a prescription, the people who are in the front office can't do that. And the number of people who are in the front office really has no bearing on provider availability. Our front office staff also have other tasks in addition to patient visits, including things like doing our billing, managing some of the documents that come in and out of our office. We're receiving often up to 100 faxes a day. Patient lab reports, patient imaging reports that are coming in. Our office staff are making phone calls out to patients, coordinating appointments, coordinating referrals. So there are things that are happening in our front office besides same-day patient visits as well.
But I think I like the response of saying, come and take a tour.
Invite them in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Because if this is someone who has never seen the inside of the building, they have no idea what's going on in there.
Yeah, yeah.
And how much of what is happening in the back is, thank goodness, invisible to the people in the waiting room.
Right.
As opposed to the old health center setup where everybody knew everybody else's personal business.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Got a report, Chris?
I think we need to get motion. Do we get a
Oh,
motion
I
on
mean,
each one of
we
these?
have to move on these
and
various,
discussion? So each one of them.
updates. Okay, let's say, the shared responsibility policy. Does anybody have any problems with this? You wanna give, I need a motion to accept it.
I liked it. I've never seen anything quite like it before.
Yeah.
It was-
This is how everybody helps everybody else to do what they can do.
Did the name change from physician's assistants to physician
Associate, yes,
Yeah.
officially in the state of Maine.
Oh, okay.
And now officially we're gonna change everything.
So everything has to be changed.
Yeah. And then, like Chris said, there'll be more, detailed updates for these things, but just getting this changed for now.
Then they'll change it back in a couple of years.
Yeah, probably.
So did we get the motion to approve this
No.
policy change, please?
I so moved.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Hand raised, aye,
Yeah.
no, opposed? All right, thank you. Second one, the health center administrator job description pro tem. Okay, since we know a new one will be coming. For the time being, do we have a motion to accept this? And Jane,
Yeah, I moved to accept it.
okay, second,
Second, till it changes.
all in favor? Okay, passed. And the position associate job description, which basically is the same one except with a different name on it. We have a motion to accept this.
I moved to accept it.
Okay, second, all in favor? Okay, we did that. So, thank you, Peggy, for putting me on Robert's rules of order. Okay, now Chris, your turn.
Okay, so I have a fairly short report this time, but I had just wanted to report out to the board on some of the public health initiatives and a couple of exciting things that have happened for the health center. And I would encourage everyone on the board to talk to the community about these things. I think we do a tremendous amount of work in our health center. And I think one of the things that everyone in this room can do that really helps us to be successful is to help get the word out about these things. We had funding approved through the Islesboro Community Fund for 3 health initiatives that they are helping us to support. The first of which is that they have offered funding to support purchase of the books and cards, certification cards and materials for a community CPR training initiative. I had set a goal at our annual meeting last year to get a program up and running to get at least 15% of our year-round population certified, and the community fund did approve that funding. So I am hoping to offer a CPR instructor course in the next couple of months to get a couple more instructors in the community, and starting to offer some CPR courses that will be free for participants that want to sign up and will be fully funded. Our second initiative that they have agreed to support is to provide 4 to 6 doses per year of long-acting naltrexone for the use of treatment of alcohol use disorder. So naltrexone is a medication that helps to reduce alcohol cravings. It is very effective. We stock it in the health center in an oral formulation that has to be taken every day. The challenge about that is that it requires patients to remain motivated and compliant with taking their medication. And if they fall off the wagon with their alcohol use and are intoxicated or struggling, sometimes keeping up with that medication adherence can be quite difficult. So the long-acting naltrexone is an injection that's given once a month and lasts for 30 days and can help patients to remain compliant with their treatment. So the community fund has given us funding for, again, 4 to 6 doses for uninsured or underinsured patients whose health insurance will not cover that treatment.
Chris, is that 4 to 6 doses or 4 to 6 years of treatments for a year?
4 to 6 doses.
Okay, so that's just 4 to 6 months of treatment for individual. That's it.
It would be 4 to 6 months of treatment, and the medication is about $1,700 per dose.
I know it's really expensive. Yeah. Okay.
And then the final initiative that the community fund has offered us funding for is to start a local chapter of a program called Walk with a Doc. I think some of you have probably heard that this was funded. There's been some excitement in the community about this project. It was a program that was originally started by a cardiologist to get his patients moving and exercising. And he does sessions where he gets a group of his patients together, gives them a very brief presentation on a topic of general health interest, and then goes out and walks in the community with his patients. And we were funded to start our own chapter of that program. With the startup of that chapter, we get a little bit of swag to entice people to participate. We get some t-shirts, pedometers, water bottles. Funding also covers liability insurance for those walks. It is not intended to be a medically supervised exercise program. It is not intended for people who are at high risk of having cardiac events while they're exercising, but just to get people who are able to walk out and moving. So those were our three initiatives that were funded by the community fund. And then we also received a grant from a community member to support smoking cessation. So that fund, that grant has been used to start purchasing some supplies of nicotine patches and nicotine gum that will be made available free of charge for individuals in the community who want to quit smoking.
Oh, yay, wow, that's lovely.
Chris, I did get back to you about the sporting club wanting to do CPR classes, correct?
Yes, you did. And they are actually on my list of one of the first places that I want to schedule because it sounds like they're ready to go.
They were very excited. Some of them were,
Wonderful. That's amazing.
there were quite a few standing around saying, you know, I've done this, but I bet I could be certified again. So that would be really good.
And guidelines changed a little bit. There were some new guidelines that were introduced at the end of last year. Adult CPR has not changed a lot. CPR in the infant and child has changed a little bit.
Thank you.
Great,
Absolutely.
okay. Anything else from you, Chris?
Those are my big updates for this time.
Okay, I know we've got Vic on board now, okay, Vic's on board. Any possibility for a new PA nurse practitioner?
Yeah, so there are some things in the works. I have been talking with some contacts that I have through University of New England. We've had a couple of people who have come out to visit us and explore. And I have Janet working on doing a formal posting to meet our posting requirements in town. There is no one on Islesboro who has the licenses to be able to actually do the job. So we're looking at our real recruiting happening off island. We met with a wonderful candidate, one of my former students, a couple of months ago, who has been working in primary care in Albion for the last 2 years. She liked us very much. We liked her very much. She was someone that I had connected with David Coons as a mentor when she was in PA school. So she's had some Islesboro connection for a while now. But she is in the Army Reserve and got back from her visit day with us and got a notice that she was being deployed. So she is on deployment through March, but has said that she would like to work with us when she comes back.
Wow.
So she had reached out to me. I was not expecting to hear from her until January. I had thought she was probably going to be traveling in places where she would not be able to communicate a lot with folks back home. But she had said she is somewhere in the Moscow time zone right now, doing trauma care. And he's going to come back to us with a tremendous amount of emergency experience from her military service time. So she is, I think, our long-term plan. And then I have someone who is interested in doing a little bit of short-term work with us between September and March, to bridge a little bit of the gap when Beth drops down from her full-time role, until Diana could start. That individual is a new grad who would not be able to cover call for us, but would be able to help us with some of our daytime patient visits. Owen and I are both going to have a very, very heavy call burden. We're both going to be really the workhorses for call between September and March. So she would be able to help out to open up a little bit more appointment availability during the day, because right now all of our provider schedules are almost completely booked, but also to be able to keep Owen and I from burning out.
Yeah, I've done every other night and I can tell you, it is a killer,
Yeah.
a killer. You know, even back when I was your age. Oh my, yeah.
And one of the other things that she would be able to help us out with is making some of the patient phone calls and helping out with patient communication. When I started my shift last week, just to give you a little bit of an idea of scale, I came in last Monday morning to a list of 52 patient phone calls
Cool.
that needed to be made. Vix is able to help us out with a lot of those now. We've developed some workflow for being able to delegate some of our patient phone calls that some of our medical assistants can help us with, and some of the things that Vix can help us out with. There are some of those calls that still need to be made by a provider, certainly things that we're doing complicated medication adjustments, or we're giving someone a new major diagnosis that really require a provider.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay,
So are you still looking for somebody even part-time who can help relieve some of the call burden?
So a great question. One of my goals is to expand our per diem pool a little bit. I don't remember how much I've talked to the board about this. I think that an optimal per diem pool for us would be for us to have somewhere around 4 or 5 people that we could potentially call upon if needed. Because all of our per diem providers have some other full-time clinical role. And sometimes they just don't have availability when we reach out. So I think having 4 to 5 gives us a much greater likelihood of having someone who can actually help us. I am anticipating that Beth is going to be a very active per diem for us when she drops to per diem in September. She is still very invested and still cares very deeply about what happens with our health center, and I am anticipating she's going to want to continue to be involved. We also had a experienced emergency medicine PA, who came up to visit us about a month ago. He's someone who I worked with. He was one of my adjunct faculty when I was teaching at University of New England. There's a little bit of training that we need to do for him to get him used to the specifics of our operation, but he is interested in coming on board as a per diem. His availability is mostly weekends. So he won't be able to do a lot of vacation coverage for us, but may be able to help us out with some of our weekends and unload Owen and I a little bit. And I am still looking for a couple of other per diems as well.
Okay, good. Right, because,
Yeah.
yeah, as Christine said, it's not sustainable for
no,
just two of you to be.
you end up with
Yeah,
not being able to learn anything new because your brain is fried.
yeah.
I mean, that's what happens.
Exactly.
Okay, and
Exactly.
that, I know that's the worst part of burnout is you can't keep up, you know.
And
Working.
speaking from the standpoint of someone who went through a very frustrating period of clinical burnout in critical care, post COVID, it really does. It can really destroy your passion for what you do. And make it a lot harder to be able to provide the quality of patient care that you really want to provide.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So
right, so you really need to try and work some of these people in on a regular basis
warm bodies,
for give you guys relief.
yeah.
Exactly. And having them involved in our periodic staff trainings that we're doing as well. I'm running a staff training for our clinical staff once a month now. Much of that centering around medical emergencies, making sure that everyone is competent with operating all of our equipment. We had a lot of new equipment that came into our facility with the new building.
Okay. So how are they getting along with ultrasound training, Chris?
We're about due for an ultrasound training again. We're using the ultrasound more and more. We did a basic intro to cover the knobology, operating controls, how to choose an ultrasound probe. And what I'm finding has been sort of the most natural progression is that more and more of our providers are reaching for the ultrasound to look at soft tissue abnormalities now. Ultrasound is really good for finding abscesses. We actually used ultrasound. I did a case with Beth on Sunday that we had a patient with an area of facial swelling that we did a soft tissue ultrasound on and found an abscess that we were able to treat.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that kind of thing I think needs to get out there. We need to talk this up.
Yeah.
When we're around with other people, okay?
Mm.
To say, hey, look, this is a useful tool and it's being used.
Tell you what, when Mary was in pain with the kidney stone,
Jane's kidneys don't.
that ultrasound was very beneficial, wasn't it, Chris?
Yeah.
It was really a game changer with management.
The other game changer was that you could do a PICC line and do your own labs. And I've been talking that up as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It makes a huge difference to be able to do those things. And again, as I say, the problem is that we don't all see everybody. So we can't talk it up to everybody, but we can share this information with people when we do have the conversations about this. So. All right. Is that pretty much it, Chris?
That is.
Okay. I just hope that we can get Diana back as quickly as possible from that horribleness out there.
Oh, I know. She told me last night 190 days remaining, so I know she's counting.
Yes. God bless her. Oh my goodness. And then is she done with her commitment, military commitment?
So she will still remain in the reserves after she comes back from her deployment. She'll still have periodic training that she'll need to go to, but she is not full-time enlisted.
Okay, all right, because I mean, I just can have no faith that there won't be some other reason to call her up. With the craziness that's going on, so that's one of the things that really concerns me, with dealing with somebody who's in reserves. Are any of your per diem people, not Beth, but this other per diem people, is that person in reserves?
He is not.
Okay, all right. First, I have to worry about going off to Afghanistan or some other place.
And I'm thinking in recruiting for for positions that are open, many of us worked in the healthcare industry, so we still have a lot of friends in that are retired from that. But as you know, it tends to be a family thing, so if so-and-so's retired, maybe she has a daughter or a son that's now in the healthcare and maybe they'd like to come out. So I wonder when they send these job description postings out, if they couldn't be more user-friendly, it's better to be able to share them. You know what I'm saying? Instead of it's just it'll just say, like on Facebook, it'll say send instead of share. And then I can't share that with too many people. So it seems like getting the word out further would be, outreach is better.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. People might want to do a couple days on an island.
With having had PA students coming through the island, that's also starting to build a little bit of future pool that we may be able to draw from. We've now had, since I started back up taking PA students, we've had now 4 students, 2 last year, 2 so far this year, and we have 1 more coming. And all of our students have had an absolutely wonderful experience. It is actually a little bit competitive at University of New England now to get an Islesboro rotation spot.
I know we don't
So
have any students at our school, but it would be good for when we do have a full capacity, it would be good to share what the opportunities are in the medical field, with the high school level as they're getting ready to graduate.
that's a phenomenal idea. And actually, I wonder even if there might be an opportunity to go into the school, do a CPR training as part of the CPR initiative. And then talk a little bit about health career opportunities as a part of that.
That would be a good idea.
That would be great, right now, the school's a little bit in floating around because they're interviewing a new principal. But
I think they've hired them.
did they hire
I think so.
Oh,
There's
good.
supposed to be a meeting with the new principal, I think on the 13th.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, because I mean, it was they were interviewing her for the real final round then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember my own son being at Maine General. He was thought my husband thought he would want to be an X-ray physician. And the doctor calling me and said, Jane, Nick just passed out. I don't think he's gonna be able to do this. But it was a good experience for him nevertheless, to be able to see what the opportunities would have been in X-ray if he wanted to go that way.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, right, Chris, if you're done. Thank you, Chris. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Okay, enjoy your time in Portland and on the boat. We have any other committee reports or anything like that? I know, Jane, you've been talking about places for CPR, you've got a commitment from the.
Yeah, they were, and I also, and Chris and I have talked about designing something for Sewing Circle. Maybe talk about falls or, this is all, and we talked about trying to do something this winter about that.
Yeah, I think that would be a really good idea. Okay.
I was curious.
Very.
I saw
Yes, Vic?
in, I don't know what to title this. I'm reading one of these about the community outreach.
Yeah.
Options and the potentiality with the Sewing Circle. And I was curious what you all might have in mind and just straight up volunteer myself for anything that I love that stuff.
Well, I would think too that it would make sense to do something about prescription management.
Yeah.
And making, just an awareness of, okay, you've been taking this forever, maybe you need to talk to somebody about, do you still need it, or is there a better way to do it? I mean, I would think that would be good for the Sewing Circle group as well.
And the other situation of where people have multiple separate specialists all prescribing, but nobody's coordinating.
Exactly.
And a lot of times, I mean, my experience as family physician was to get all those people to bring all their pills in. Okay. And say, no, a lot of times there was something undoing the effect of the other thing. So, you know,
I find that every day
right.
in practice.
Yeah, or there was, somebody was on a really expensive medication where there was a much less expensive one available, it would do exactly the same thing. So, you know, that there's all kinds of medication type stuff that can be kind of talked about in a general way.
Right,
Okay.
I think that,
We can't do specifics without establishing a provider-patient relationship. But you can, in a group, you can talk about, you know, what you should talk to your provider about.
and I also have heard people say, you know, that their insurance doesn't cover and they can't afford.
Mhm.
Well, just some education on how to get that medication and who to go to for being able to afford. I mean, I think that those are all issues that a good discussion. Yeah. You know, and we don't have as many people in the winter time at Circle, but we do Zoom. And so if someone
We have circle
Zoom
members who
in
are
the
zooming in from North Carolina and
every week.
Florida and, yeah.
It's come a long
Other
way.
places.
It's come a whole real long way. That happened after the pandemic. And you would not believe now that we've engaged these people year round, how many of them are providing their creations for us and sending us boxes of stuff that they've been working. It's pretty cool, you know, so I think that you have an avenue there. I mean, there's 88 members in Sewing Circle. If the topic were something really grabbing, you could do a Zoom. Yeah. Yeah.
And although the vast majority are postmenopausal women, there are some who are younger. So there you go.
Not many.
Just to kind of give you an idea about what the group is like.
But that's a good group, to reach out to, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I'm also wondering if we could do something with the Baptist church.
Oh, I'm sure you could. I'm sure
You
you
know,
could. Pastor Trish is always open for that.
Yeah,
She does, well, in the wintertime, she does Women at the Well,
yeah,
once a month.
yeah.
And what is that?
She invites people in and it's not religious, although she does start with a prayer and she ends with a prayer, but she comes up with a topic. And she does this beautiful, you know, introduction to, and gives people the opportunity to discuss. And then it's not an inclusive group. When she sends out her invitation, send this to other women that you know, so it goes out there and she starts those up again in October, Chris.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I've gotten to know Pastor Trish and Perry pretty well over the past few months. So that's something I would love to work with her on that.
Yeah.
I'm sure she would welcome. And then she was also doing an evening group with younger women that are working mothers. And that might be another group that you could do some outreach with.
Yeah, exactly. Would be good. Not necessarily CPR, but other things.
And
Immunizations.
Sporting Club has changed their administration totally. And they, at their last meeting, they agreed that they're going to apply for the 501c3. So they're gonna become a nonprofit organization, I would think. And
Good.
that, they're open, you know, to change.
Which is good.
Which is
Yeah.
good.
I always thought about that if you didn't have
It
a
isn't
gun, you
all
shouldn't go there.
years.
Well,
They actually have a decent menu now on
I
Thursday.
know, and they promote it, and it's like.
150 people in there for dinner on
Yeah.
a Thursday night.
They've done a great job.
That's pretty incredible.
New people, new ideas.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks.
Good. Okay. Any other things that should come before the board today? No? No? I don't see anybody waving their hands. Okay. Motion to adjourn? We have number 45.
Thank you.
Good for us, okay? We're adjourned.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
Enjoy your time away.
Thank you, Biggs.
You're really interested in like stapler alternative that is being used.
It's on the copier right at the health center.
What?
Yeah, you can use the metal staple or you can do this perforation
I
staple.
love it.
So
So
go
simple.
for it. Go find
So-
something to perforate.
Thank you all for letting me join.
Welcome.
All right.
Thanks for coming over.
Of course.
See you soon, Peggy.
All right, we need to carry to sign people off.
She'd be great at going down to listen to sewing circles. She just loves that. She, like she said, she loves that kind of stuff. And she's been an educator too, so.
You know, another group that might, in the summertime, might be good would be the instructors for, the boat BTB.
You mean for CPR?
For CPR.
CPR.
Or first aid.
Or the